Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. We will be teaching you guys about life. Amen. Goodbye.
Alrighty, sorry, Joey really wanted to do the introduction today. Okay, today we are looking at learning target 2. I can explain the relationships among organisms if given a food chain or a food web. Alrighty, you should be looking at page 3 of your notes right now, or page 2 of your notes right now, and then we'll get started. These should be pretty basic notes. These should all be review for all of you guys. Okay? So our first term, a model to illustrate feeding relationships between organisms. What is that called? Harrison?
Food chain.
A food chain. Okay, so a food chain should not be new to most of you. You should have heard of a food chain at some point in your life. Okay? And there's different levels of a food chain, and these are called trophic levels. Trophic levels, yes. Okay, and a trophic level is just the level on the food chain. So we're going to start at our very lowest trophic level, trophic number 1. And trophic level number 1, what's the lowest thing on the totem pole called? Joseph? What do we just divide things into? Producers and consumers. So producers are going to be our lowest level on the totem pole. Producers are our lowest level on the totem pole. They are where all of our energy comes from. We start with a producer. Notice I put an arrow here, and our arrow points to our next trophic level 2, which is our primary consumer.
No, I can't answer.
After a primary consumer, we get to secondary consumer. What do we think comes next? Third dairy. Tertiary.
The third dairy.
Tertiary consumer. And then our 5th level is what we call the apex predator. The apex predator. And we're going to do an example of this soon in class. We're going to make our own food web after these notes. Okay? So notice it shows the flow of energy in an ecosystem. So instead of an example, we're going to just say it shows the flow of energy. A food chain shows the flow of energy in an ecosystem. So notice where the arrows are pointing. The arrows are not pointing at what eats what. It's pointing at the direction of the energy. So notice the producer's energy goes to the primary consumer. Our arrow is pointing towards where the energy is going. Okay. All of the food chains in an ecosystem combined are called what?
Food web.
A food web.
No.
Nothing too crazy. A food web. Okay, so a food web is again going to have different trophic levels. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom with producers. So we might have producer 1, producer 2, and producer 3. And this is our first trophic level. From producer, we go to where? Primary consumer. So our primary consumers might be something like letter A. And primary consumer, letter A, eats both producer 1 and producer 2. So the energy from both of those things might go to A. We also have primary consumer B. And B eats producer 1 and producer 3. We also might have another organism, C, that only eats producer 3. So A, B, and C would be part of trophic level 2.
Oh, I got my
And then lastly, we might have some bigger guys up here. The star that eats A and C, or the triangle that only eats B. So again, notice the arrows. Notice the arrows and where they're pointing. And they're pointing to where the energy is flowing. Joey.
Are humans considered the apex predator because we eat a lot of different kinds of foods?
Generally, humans would be the apex predator. However, consider the situation in which humans have no guns, no knives, nothing to kill other things. Would we still be an apex predator?
I mean,
So it depends on the situation we're in. Generally, humans are going to be the apex predator because we have the most means of killing other things.
oh yeah.
However, toss us into the jungle with nothing, and we more than likely would not be the predator, the biggest predator. All right. Online learners, you do have another activity to do, so make sure you get that done. Otherwise, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.